are going to be moving our chicks from their inside brooder system outdoors to the finished chicken coop. And we've pretty much got everything finished on the outside and the inside, and we were just going to walk you along and show you what we did. So let's walk around the outside first and talk about what we have added. First thing you'll notice is we have some steps to get up because the coop is raised. These are not going to be our permanent steps, they're just pallets. We want to put either railroad ties or cut some logs, but because the ground's still frozen and there's snow, we're not going to worry about that right yet, but we did add a way to get in there, in and out on a daily basis. So the only other things that we added outside is a little ramp for the chicks to come down and a door, which we'll show you when we get inside. So we got our door up and we painted it red. This was just some paint we had left over. And this was a door we had gotten for free. So the inside is damaged. Flipped it around and put the damaged part on the inside and took the door handle off, and Eric added this little custom wood branch door handle. We've got a really secure latch on there. So even though this door fits very snugly in here, we noticed when it was snowing that, and there was wind, that some of that snow was coming in through the cracks. So we added a little bit of a weather stripping, and it has a much tighter feel, and there's no drafts now. So come on inside, we're gonna show you how we designed this. It's pretty rough looking. We've raised chickens quite a few different ways, whether it be on pasture. Our old house had a chicken coop already. It was a part of the barn. So we designed this the way we wanted it for these chickens. So every morning we do plan to come into the coop. We like collecting the eggs in the coop and checking on the chickens. We have 10 boxes. That should be sufficient for how many chickens we have. We also have 2 roosting bars. And what we went with was 2x4s so the chickens can put their feet flat. Usually that's recommended in a northern climate so they don't get frostbite and they can sit down on their feet. We like to use branches, but I didn't feel like that was going to be appropriate for here. We just have 2 roosts. I think that'll be sufficient, again, for how many chickens we're going to have, which is about 50. I specifically don't like roosts at the same level. I think that chickens have a hierarchy and you need to let them have that hierarchy. So I don't want them to all be on the same level, because at that point you're not letting them be their chicken self and have a hierarchy. In this corner is our chicken door. We considered putting a little latch and a pulley system to the front, but again, because we want to have a door that opens up on the inside. We thought about this. I don't want it automatic. We really like to keep an eye on our chickens. So I want to do a count at the end of the day, make sure we still have all of them. So this door fits pretty snugly, and I'm not worried about any predators being able to get that open. We may in the future add a little latch, but I think for right now we're okay with just doing it by hand. One thing I skipped over is we have a little perch or jump up bar for the chickens to get into the baskets. I don't think that these chickens are going to have a hard time. Right now they're already jumping well over a foot, under 2 weeks old. So the windows we have closed up, and that is because we had that storm and we realized we had multiple periods of snow, and only one time was there a lot of wind, and it actually did let in quite a bit of snow from the front. So we just used some of the scrap metal we have for these covers. Not beautiful or anything, but they serve their purpose. And so what most likely these will be is to use when there's storms, if it's letting in too much snow. And probably right now when we're going to have the chicks in here, I don't want that much air coming in. If we were designing them to take on and off every day, we'd probably make them a little bit easier. But again, they're going to be kind of intermittently used. We also made a dust box in here for the chickens. That's going to be mainly when it's winter and there's snow outside. It's a combination of sand. I think I have wood ashes on top I haven't mixed in, and there's soil in there too. I am also going to add diatomaceous earth in there too for mites and lice. So our plan is to probably have a waterer and a feeder in here in the winter months, and maybe move it outside for the summer months and under that overhang. So that's why we left this pretty big. I don't intend to lock the chickens in the winter, but it's just nice to have for them in case, we get up a little bit later and they're already up and doing their thing.
And then we also have for when we're in the coop and we want to be able to shut the door and have it stay closed while we're in here messing around with the chicks, is we just hooked up a bungee to the door and it hooks right there. So before we bring them out here, we're going to hook up kind of an adjustable system for their heat lamp. They're going to be on it quite a bit when we first move them out here, but just like we did inside, we're going to slowly wean them off of the heat by raising it up little by little until we can just take it away. So I'm just using this old D-ring I have laying around. Okay, so that's how this system will kind of work. We've done this before in the past and it works out pretty well. All you do is you'll just make a loop in it, secure it. You should pull down to make sure it's not going to fall. You hook your extension cord right here, and then when you're ready to move it up on them, you just undo your knot. And we usually do, I don't know, maybe a couple inches a day, just depending on how the chicks are acting. But yeah, pretty easy system to do, and I think we're just about ready to bring the chicks out here.
So the temperature is about 52 in here, and the chicks right now are okay with about 55 to 60 degrees. Obviously it won't be that warm at night, so we are going to run that heat lamp at night. I mean, I'm just going to go by, again, like Eric said, go by what the chicks are telling us. I don't think we'll need to have it on late afternoon like this, because in the house they're already accustomed to this temperature or very close to it. So I do think they'll be okay with this during the day. But today, since it's a transition day and they are going to get a little chilled coming out here, I may opt to just turn it on when we move them for now.
I'm out in the shed and I'm gathering up the long extension cords. We have a plug on the front of the house and we are on a solar system. So we are going to run these from the house out to the chicken coop for that little heat lamp. And then we also are grabbing a bale of shavings to cover the floor inside the coop.
I'm going to get these shavings over in the coop and we're going to put them down on that floor. The idea with that floor in there, because it's painted, is to always keep shavings and straw on top of it. I don't have the straw right now, but I don't ever intend to actually have the chickens just hanging out on the painted floor. And the reason for that, if you have material down, it's going to help with absorbing the moisture in their droppings, and their droppings just make it easier for composting and less rot on the wood over time. So we are getting the water ready for our chicks and their food as well. We want to have that all prepared before we move them over. I just wanted to mention something if you hadn't heard of it. I absolutely love it. We put garlic and apple cider vinegar in their waters probably about once a week. I think you can do it a little more often, and generally we'll have 2 waters available, one with this, one just pure water. But it is great for their overall health, for their digestive system, for their immunity. So this is 1 gallon water. This is a full clove that's been crushed. And I'm just going to put a splash. I think they say you can put about a tablespoon for every 1 to 2 gallons, but this is not quite that much.
Alright, so the chicks have been out here for probably about 45 minutes now, and looks like they're finally starting to go to sleep. I think we got the heat lamp right at the perfect spot. They don't look like they're too hot where they're spreading out, and they don't look like they're too cold where they're shivering or anything like that. So tonight's the first night. It's going to be kind of a hard night for all of us. We're probably going to come out here probably about every 2 hours and just check on them, make sure they're okay. We might bring gallons of water with warm water in them out here, depending if it gets too cold. We got our thermometer out here, so we are going to see how they do through the night, and we will be sure to give an update tomorrow morning.
Okay, so the chicks have been out here for a little bit over 24 hours, and they did really good last night. It was super chilly. I think it was probably 22 degrees outside, but it only got to about 26 on the inside of the coop. So we're gonna head in and show you guys how they're looking. So we ended up keeping that heat lamp about where it was at yesterday. We turned the heat lamp off late this morning, and we're going to be turning it back on now later afternoon. But they do seem to be doing really good. They're running around and everything. Obviously, it's just way too cold still for them at night to be without a heat lamp. So these little guys are growing really fast, and they are totally enjoying the space. And our goal is to have the back forest behind this coop fenced off within the next 2 weeks, so we can go ahead and let them out once they get bigger and they have all their feathers, which is around a month's age. All right, so I'm going to get this heat lamp turned on for them.